and welcome to another edition of Inside Outlook. I'm Jeff Havers, Superintendent of Pemberton Township Schools. Today we're going to talk about the transportation challenges facing not only our district, but school districts throughout the entire country. During this time, we're not going to focus solely on the challenges because we also have some exciting opportunities to talk about too. I'm pleased to welcome Transportation Supervisor Dave Jantas to the show to discuss both the challenges and opportunities in our transportation department. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Havers.
It's a pleasure. First, can you explain a bit about the everyday busing challenges facing a district of our size and geography?
Certainly. Most people realize that Pemberton Township is a large district, but I don't think they fully realize that we cover 62 square miles of area, making us the fourth largest district in Burlington County. With that, we transport on a normal school year, we transport well over 4,000 students to the 9 various schools that we have in district. We also are responsible for transporting specialized students and other students to out-of-district schools that are in various locations in Burlington County. Along with that, we do specialized transportation that is requested by the schools for things like athletics, after-school tutoring, and other specialized requests such as that. With that, it puts somewhere around 35 to 45 school buses on the road at any given time. Now, of course, we don't have all of these runs going on at the same time. A lot of them overlap in what we refer to as a tiered system. We use a 3-tiered system in Pemberton Township where the older students, being the high school, are transported the earliest, and we progress all the way through the morning and then all the way through the afternoon, up until the early childhood training education center to bring the young children home.
Understood. So under the best of circumstances, we have some unique challenges to undertake. But right now there are other concerns, namely that of bus driver staffing. We currently have a shortage of bus drivers, like many districts around the country. And we are certainly not alone. Tell us more about that.
So locally, what we've experienced over the past year or so, even before the pandemic, was several of the drivers that had been here for quite a while, either retiring, moving on to something else, or simply moving out of the district. Or out of the area entirely. So with the pandemic, our recruitment efforts have been hampered quite a bit. Of course, nobody was meeting in community groups or having special events, special gatherings. So it's been a real challenge to get replacements for those people that we've lost through attrition and other reasons.
I also understand that 52% of transportation supervisors across the country say dealing with a shortage of bus drivers is their number one problem of concern. And 70% of all respondents believe the trend for having a shortage of bus drivers is getting worse.
That's correct. We're seeing that either through lack of education on what the job offers or for other reasons, people aren't choosing the job of a school bus driver or aide as much as they were in the past.
How does the shortage of bus drivers specifically affect us here in Pemberton, Mr. Jantas?
So oftentimes when we don't find out that we're going to have a shortage of drivers until we start operations the morning of a school day. So that can create real problems. The ideal is that we have a group of bus drivers that we refer to as substitute drivers that can fill in those holes. There's been a problem with recruiting those types of drivers as well. So when the group of substitute drivers is exhausted, we now sometimes have to do what we call double backs. And what I mean by a double back is that we have the driver that's assigned to a given run go ahead and go out into the community, pick up their students, and drop them off at the school. That driver then goes back out into the community and picks up the students that have been missed because a driver wasn't available. This obviously causes students to arrive late or to be brought home late.
Yes, this is certainly a difficult situation for us all, and I think our staff is doing a wonderful job. Our bus drivers who are need to go double back, they have to do so safely and carefully, and it's also very unexpected, right? They don't know exactly when that's going to happen. And our staff at the schools are really pitching in to make sure our kids are well supervised, and that they are able to get on the bus safely and as soon as possible. And of course, our parents are adapting to this as well. So this is something that we're all pitching in order to try to accommodate our kids under such a challenging time across the country that has been, I think, exacerbated by COVID.
And I'm really proud of the drivers and aides that have stepped up over this past year, 10 months specifically with the 2021 school year. They've really been doing a great job and understanding that they're very much needed at this time.
Correct. So the pandemic certainly had a negative impact on hiring, but now that things are slowly getting back to normal and vaccines are readily available, you're once again actively recruiting for bus drivers. Tell us some of the advantages of being a school bus driver.
So to start, we're very optimistic that over the summer months that we're going to be able to reach out to the community and the surrounding area. They don't have to be Pemberton Township residents, but to the surrounding area to let them know the benefits of being a school bus driver. And some of those benefits are, we certainly offer competitive pay as compared to some retail opportunities or warehousing opportunities. We also offer a pretty comprehensive health benefits package that includes both dental and eyewear. There are also a lot of intangibles with this job that I think most people don't realize.
What are those, Mr. Jantas? Because I know those are, salary and benefits are typical things we think of when we're looking for a job. But what are those special intangibles that people can feel a sense of reward and gratification coming to Pemberton as a bus driver?
So certainly over this period of the pandemic, we have learned what the term essential worker really means. And I believe in my heart of hearts that school bus drivers have proven themselves, and aides have proven themselves to be right in that category of essential worker. Being a school bus driver directly affects the community. We are the first people that those students see every day getting on the bus, and we set the stage for learning. The students rely on you. It's a commitment that you're relied on to get them that right start into the school building so they're ready to learn.
Absolutely, a very important function, a very important role. I learned my first year of teaching, Mr. Jantas. I remember teaching 5th grade, and I had one of my students, Heidi, a wonderful student. Her favorite person in the entire district was her bus driver, Jerry. He was a Cowboys fan, unfortunately. She was a Cowboys fan, unfortunately, but they had a great relationship. They both, lamented when they lost together, but they had a great bond, and it was really something that I learned right away in my teaching career, my education career, how important bus drivers are. You're right, they can make the morning, they can make the entire day.
And I can tell you from my experience, having 2 young men that attended the Pemberton Township School District, my boys were excited to hear that I was coming to work here. And they asked about the drivers that they remember so very fondly from this district that are still here today and still doing the work that we need them to do.
Absolutely. Along with bus drivers, you have some additional openings for bus aides. Is that correct?
That's correct. And a bus aide position, listen, we understand that not everybody is inclined to operate a school bus, whether it be a 54 passenger or a shorter van with 24 passengers. That's just not what they're looking for. So we have the availability of school bus aide positions that are vital to our operations. Normally, school bus aides are used on vehicles with younger children. The school bus aide will help them get buckled in. They're the eyes and the ears for the driver to make sure that everybody's okay. There are also assignments where you could be riding on a bus with children with special needs to watch out for their good health and their well-being, and it's a very worthwhile position.
Absolutely. Mr. Jantas, thank you for sharing all this information with us today.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Havers.
We posted information on our screen for those people interested in driving or in pursuing an aide position, also posted on our website. Before we go, I just wanted to share some photos from a different type of field trip that took place last week at Pemberton Township High School. Partnering with Virtual Health, we are able to offer our students 16 years and older the opportunity to get vaccinated at the mega site in Morristown. Our district provided scheduling and transportation, and we are very happy to see the students take advantage of this unique opportunity to get the COVID vaccine, and of course, we will be repeating the process in a few weeks when it's time for them to get their second shot. That's our show for today. Please be sure to check our website for details regarding upcoming Board of Education meetings, and I look forward to seeing you on the next edition of Inside Outlook.